What's up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Stochastic Fantasy Football YouTube channel. And today I am here to talk to you about some running back busts ahead of the 2022 NFL season. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. Today we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. And if you've never heard of Underdog, they're the single best place to play fantasy football in the summer months. Best Ball Mania 3 is also already underway. And if you don't know Best Ball Mania 3, this is a $10 million prize pool tournament. All you have to do is draft your team, and that is it. There's no waivers, no in-season management, no trades, none of that. Every single week, Underdog is going to give you your best score, and then the highest score at the end of the year wins. Last year's Best Ball Mania Championship 3 team was drafted in June, so there is no time to wait. If you use the promo code AWESEMO, you are also going to get a first match deposit bonus up to $100. All you have to do is head to UnderdogFantasy.com, go to the App Store, or even just click the link in the video description below to take advantage of that. All right, we're getting into running back busts, and we are going to mainly be looking at the top 25-ish positions here. And there are a couple players I think that do have some questionable ceilings looking at 2022. And where I want to start is with the Dallas Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott, a staple of the first round for many years at the running back position. He is now coming off the board RB17 on Underdog. That is an ADP of 40.6. And with Ezekiel Elliott, there's a lot of concerns. One, he's an aging player at the running back position. He did secure the bag via contract, but he's a player that does have declining efficiency when you look at him year over year. Now, a lot of people, they attribute this to the torn PCL last year. It occurred in week 5, and he wasn't the same player afterwards. But they do have Tony Pollard on the roster, and he has been more efficient than Ezekiel Elliott really throughout his career. And then you look at some of the surrounding players, Dallas could take a step back entirely. Their offensive line isn't the same. Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, those are aging players, and some of the other veterans that were previously with the squad have now moved on. So for Ezekiel Elliott, I think it's going to come down mainly to volume. And with Tony Pollard just simply being more efficient, it's tough to see him getting there. Even over the last 4 years, he's declined in carries every single year. 304 carries down to 301, then 244, and last year 237, just barely getting over 1,000 yards. It's tough to see Ezekiel Elliott really paying off his ADP in the 40s here. The second player I want to talk about is kind of in a similar range, and you'll notice a common theme throughout these players. We're going to go to David Montgomery of the Chicago Bears. Now, he was a player last year that was used in a workhorse role. He averaged 17.3 carries per game. He had 849 rushing yards and 3.9 targets per game, over 300 receiving yards. But you have an entirely new coaching staff coming into Chicago and no ties to David Montgomery whatsoever. Not to mention, Khalil Herbert was actually fairly efficient behind David Montgomery. When you look at the efficiency for Montgomery throughout his career, even just last year, 3.8 yards per carry. And in 2 of the 3 seasons he's been in the NFL, he's been below 4 yards per carry. So we're talking about a running back that does have a solid skill set, but he hasn't been efficient in any season, maxing out at 4.3 yards per carry in the 2020 season. Overall, we're not expecting Chicago to be very good, expecting them to score very few touchdowns, and an offensive line that is just absolutely horrific. With the new coaching staff coming in and the potential for David Montgomery to maybe share a little more carries with Khalil Herbert, he's a player I want to stay away from at ADP, which is currently 53.7. He is running back 20 on Underdog Fantasy. The last player I want to talk about today is actually running back 25 on the dot, previously going a little bit higher, but the ADP has absolutely plummeted this summer. It's Antonio Gibson for the Washington Commanders, currently coming off the board running back 25, ADP of 74.3. Now, there's a lot of concerns with Antonio Gibson. Similar to Montgomery and Elliott, he has not been the most efficient running back in his career with the Commanders, but all signs in Washington point to this being a timeshare. First of all, they send the bag to J.D. McKissic to come back as the pass-catching back, a player that has always worked on third downs and will continue to do so as long as he is in Washington, limiting the upside of Antonio Gibson. From there, they also spent a decent draft pick on Brian Robinson, and there have been reports stemming back to the offseason that Antonio Gibson is not going to secure a second contract with the Commanders. So for a player that was averaging 16.1 carries per game, 3.3 targets per game, it's really tough to envision him getting that same workload he did last year, even though it was pretty solid in a small sample. Overall, this team, they only vacate 18 carries, and with an influx of talent coming in via Brian Robinson and JD McKissic coming back, it's very difficult to see Antonio Gibson paying off this same ADP, currently RB25. But that'll do it for us today. Let me know in the comment section who you think the biggest RB busts are of the 2022 NFL season. My name is Matt Gajewski. I'm on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you again next time.